Hi there, I'm Manik Sanaik. Welcome to Get Hired, where we are insanely committed in getting you hired in your next job interview. Now, today we are going to look at imperfect careers or imperfect resumes. What does that mean? It means in traditional sense there can be gaps, anomalies, deviations or questionable content where there is no smooth trajectory in your career progression. It can happen, and a lot of professionals out there have this experience. It's just the circumstances. Now, the interviewer might ask certain related questions if you have career anomalies or questionable content in the form of why do you have so many gaps in your resume? Or you can say, why have you changed your job so frequently? Why is that in certain organizations where you have a very short period of employment? Why have you changed industries? Or why have you settled for less or lesser designations or roles in your career? So these are all valid questions, and it's not the ideal situation to be in, but it can happen, and most of us will have one or two anomalies in your resume. Now, the most important thing is basically how you approach. The approach is quite different to a traditional situation where you have a nice progressive career trajectory. Now, in the subconscious mind of the interviewer, what he's really asking himself is why this candidate who is in front of me cannot hold on to a job. So we need to address those concerns during the interview, and I believe to not only just share your skill sets and your experience, but to convince them as well. Now, if you look at some of the common anomalies, it stems from frequent job changes, industry changes, maybe migration, different countries. As I said earlier, settling for lesser job roles, from coming down from a higher position to lower position. Have so many companies with short employment, and of course a lot of career gaps. Now, the main common reasons it can be different. Now, these kind of anomalies are usually very common in the mature or more developed markets, especially in the West. It's because of the concept, first of all, the labor turnover rate. The average person hold on to a job is probably about I would say 3 to 4 years in the West, in mature markets. But in countries like here, it's people hold on to a job about 6 to 7 years. So a lot of people, there's a high recycling rate with candidates in those markets. And it's simply because of the nature of looking to expand themselves, trying out the risk taking mindset or the mentality, and also see how we can really use your transferable skills in different companies, industries. And they say that on average, a person in his career hold on to about 6 to 7 jobs on average. It can vary from country to country, culture to culture, even person to person, and that's their just choice. Now, the reasons also can be due to not only just by choice, but also something beyond your control, or can be self-imposed as well. But unfortunately, we don't have a document or a platform to share those reasons. Now, don't get me wrong, you are not there to justify or defend your choices in the interview or in your resume. It's just that you need to explain to them why it happened if it is asked. Let's get to that in a moment. So basically, since we don't have a document, resume is not the place to really share why you left those organizations have short gaps, because it has a different purpose, structured differently, and certainly interview is not the place. They could also find out by speaking to your previous employers. So anyway, you might as well be authentic about it. If the questions were asked as the reason as to where short gaps, deviations, you migrated, different industries. So let's look at some of the reasons as to why those anomalies exist prior to understand how we can approach this question. Number one reason, basically, as I said earlier, economic slumps it could be, or downturns. Situations like now in COVID-19, there can be situations where there are layoff, right sizing, downsizing, retrenchment, which happens more frequently over in those developed countries. So unfortunate situation or circumstances left you with no job. Or there can be situations, as I said earlier, your entrepreneurial spirit kicks in and you take a risk and leave the job and start something on your own, and it doesn't work after a while, maybe due to economic conditions or various other factors. So now you want to get back into the corporate world. How do you really position yourself as a strong candidate? And also it can be reasons due to your personal life. A family tragedy can be, or it can be circumstance of change where your wife has to change jobs to another location, so you need to do that. Kids come into the equation, paternity leave, maternity leave. So there can be so many different reasons as to why people leave their jobs. And of course, one of the main reasons is that they say that 76% of the people leave their jobs because they don't feel valued. And another good 56% says that they have some bad experiences, maybe with the culture, organization, and most likely in most cases is the reporting authority or your boss. It happens. Unfortunately, you can't share those sentiments because it doesn't look good. But whether it is right or wrong, it happens. How we are going to deal with it is not the end of the world, right? So you can still, if you have the skill set, the right attitude, right experience, you can still be a very strong candidate. Is how you project yourself. Now, here you have to do some additional work. You got to not only show your skills and the standard role match, job match, culture match, but also clear those doubts as well, all those perceptions that are hardwired in the interviewer. Now, how do you create that? So figure out what are the things that subconsciously the interviewer will have. So he'll have problems with your attitude. Does he have attitude? Why he change jobs? Then does he have planning problems? Does he is not focused enough, or is it the loyalty issue or commitment issue? Or you can say, he's not fitting into organization culture. Is he a team player? Problems with his interpersonal skills, or it can be maybe he has so many other different agendas, or when he has other initiatives going on, so he can't really fully commit. So there can be so many different issues. And also they can also think that you have performance issues, your integrity, your ethics, your competencies, what you proclaim is not delivering. That's why you have to keep on changing jobs. So there can be so many questions or doubts that will create in the mindset, which is fair enough, right? So those kind of anomalies would lead to that kind of conclusions. So your added challenge is to basically, during the conversation, address those issues. Now, first of all, a couple of things let's look at. Number one is basically you need to be in a very positive demeanor, which means you need to have positive kind of personality. You can't go into interview and be defensive. That shows that you have something to hide, guilty. It happened to you. There are certain situations which by choice or without choice, beyond your control, but you take ownership, and basically it's a self-learning moment. And I have actually made progress since then, and it happened. And if they ask, you share that with them logically, right? So make sure that you approach anyone, you share your discussion when they ask a question, why this company is short employment, be positive. This happened, we'll look at how, in a while, how we're going to answer this question, but the whole thing has to be very positive and confident, so that it gives the impression to the interviewer that, you have taken control, and it's a self-made decision, or it is a decision that was happened to unfortunately, but you have grown out of it, right? So that's a very important. So keep everything very positive and confident. Number two is basically, they're also very much interested in looking at, during the gaps, especially you're taken off, what have you been doing to keep yourself engaged? Have you engaged in progressive behavior? So you can always say that I followed a course, I did this degree program, or I work in volunteer, so I took up various projects, or I started my own business. So make sure that you're not just laying around, that you have engaged in a lot of positive self-character building initiatives, so that you bring additional skills and experience during the period of absence. when you rejoin the corporate world. So make sure that you show that you have a story, what you have been doing during the, especially during those gap years. Number 3 is don't volunteer. Don't volunteer because you are not there to defend. You know, it's not a mistake or it's not a crime for you to change jobs. It's not a crime for you to change the industry. It's not a crime for you to settle for lesser roles. It can happen. You know, you can probably go overseas, come back, the market has matured, same level of employment doesn't, open up, so you have to settle for lesser roles. So that's fine. As long as you say that, you are there to, I'm in front of you, I have these capabilities, I have this skill set, look at me positively, right? So don't volunteer information, and so even if you share your information, you keep it very brief. You know, you don't have to go all the way. And the most important element, number 4, is basically don't ever let down your previous employer or previous person or a boss or a person that you had a problem with. If that's the case, you left the organization. As I said earlier, a lot of people leave organization 76% because they feel they are not valued. So there can be a lot of fairness, unfairness or biases that have taken place in your life, which is the case in most situations. But you got to, separate those emotional concerns and be logical about your approach. If you bring the emotional perspective to the interviewer, they are not interested and they feel they are a weak character and you're not professional enough. So how bad the experience you had this, you have been had bad, the worst experience, you have been ill-treated, unfair, not given promotions in time or various things, or victimized, you just have to just separate that and you just share that, these things happen. So talk about the good things that you have done, the achievements you have done, and after sharing that, you say that, these things happen. And you can say like this, don't ever go into detail, don't ever discuss the specifics of the issue you had in a previous organization. Just say that there were situations where my values were not inconsistent with my direct report or the management. You can say management. Or you can say my ability to expand was basically undercompensated, was not recognized, and also it was limited. I felt that I have reached the maximum in terms of utilizing my skills. So I thought that, I want to really look at outside options. So I kept on moving to another organization which I can really add value, my diverse experience and, skill set. So, and also you can probably say that there were inconsistencies in terms of when you come to certain ethical issues. And so I thought that it's best for me to move on and really look at an organization which values are inconsistent, values are inconsistent with my values. So you can share those things without going into detail how bad the experience is. So you need to really share the proposition at a macro level. So in today's digital world and how network is so integrated, they can easily find out with one call what exactly happened. So you might as well be very open and candid about it. If they specifically ask more details, then you can probably share with them, but not in your initial conversation. So in the case of layoff or maybe retrenchment or downsizing, you can say that it was just unfortunate circumstances. Because of the economic downturn, they had to make some serious decision, and I was part of that group which they had to let me go. So you can probably use the word let me go. It was very sad because I loved the organization, but then I engaged in positive behavior after that. I engaged in this activity, and now I made me much more skilled. So you can use that experience as a positive thing. In the event if the bad things has happened to you, which is the worst case scenario, which you have been terminated for misconduct, misappropriation of funds maybe, or unethical things that you had done, which are, contrary to the organization policies where they have to terminate you, even performance issues it can be, so negligence, abuse related, so many things. That's the worst case scenario, right? And still you can come back as a very strong candidate if you approach the right principles. And that is basically, you can say that, during that period, my mind was clouded, my judgment was very poor, so I ended up making some really poor choices. I was misled, misdirected, but it's my fault. Most important thing is honesty, integrity, and accountability. You need to show that you're accountable to what happened, and more importantly that you learn from the lesson. I'm ready to work with you. These are my skill set. You hire me, I will add value to your organization. Right? So that's the way you create a negative extreme situation and positive, by taking accountability and say that you are responsible for all your actions. You are not clearly thinking right. Let me just share with you examples or excerpt how you can really respond to these situations, especially when you have gaps in your resume. So you can say, the gap in my employment is down to short career break I took, which I used positively to study from a personal development perspective. During that period of self-development, I wanted to focus on improving confidence, developing my interpersonal skills, and also focusing on developing my problem-solving capabilities. I found the break to be highly rewarding from a professional development perspective and won't be looking to take any time off in the future. So in the event if you're unemployed now, you can say this: I have been very careful in applying for jobs, as I want to make sure the job role is in line with my competencies, and taking the job for the right values and purpose, not just any job. Now to make sure the company I join bring passion and commitment to add value to the company. I'm naturally a positive person and feel confident this job is well suited for my skill set and experience. I look forward to this opportunity. So there you go. So how you respond when you have career anomalies or imperfections or gaps or deviations in conventional sense, you just have to have that positive demeanor. You own it. Every single piece of evidence that is on your resume, you take ownership and you own it. And make sure that you share positive things about your previous employment, how bad it is. Don't volunteer in terms of going to details on this, specifically ask you, so keep it very brief. Most important thing is basically look at what skills and competencies you can bring to the future of this company or the future employer. This way they show that the candidate right in front of them have integrity, he has learned, he has made some mistakes, or he has been in unfortunate situation, but his integrity is intact and his skill set and competence intact, and is a good fit for the role. So there you go. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, Get Hired, by clicking on the subscribe button, and please feel free to share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you soon.